What's up everyone, I'm CallumOnToast, and in today's video I'm going to be showcasing some battles submitted to the channel by Legba88, who's running a level 50 shiny lucky hundo or Shlundo Ariados in the Open Ultra League. Now of course Ariados received a double buff this season, with Poison Sting dealing more damage and Trailblaze costing less energy. However, at level 50 as a hundo, this thing barely reaches 2000 CP, so it doesn't really have the stats for the Ultra League, but it does have the ability to spam attack buffing and debuffing charge moves at a very fast pace and essentially alter its stats in battle, so I guess we'll see if this thing does have any play. Legba is pairing it with Licky and Clefable, two much more meta Pokemon that have been buffed this season, and personally I'd like to see something slightly more unique alongside the Ariados, but that's okay. And by the way, for anyone wanting to submit battles to the channel, the earlier you submit during a league rotation, the more likely it will be that I showcase those battles. I had about 10 people submit Great League battles with less than 2 days left before the Great League went out of league rotation, so at that point I've usually got my videos planned for the last couple of days of that rotation, so unfortunately I wasn't able to showcase any of those battles. Also, once again I want to give a quick shout out to Colin L for once again gifting 10 memberships in my recent live stream, so if you are now a channel member and you weren't really sure why, it's probably because of Colin. With that being said, let's just get into the question of the day. What has been your favourite move update this season? Doesn't have to be a particularly good Pokemon, just a Pokemon that you enjoy running. Let me know in the comment section down below, and with that being said, let's get into the battles now. Alright, so going into the first battle, we lead Ariados into Primarina, so a great lead matchup for us. The opponent say swaps into Cobalion, a bit of a core breaker to our team, but luckily for us, we can align it to our Clefable. So, gonna no-shield the first move, they go for Stone Edge, that does do less than 50% of our HP, so actually we will be able to live another charge move here, but it would get us very low, so we might end up shielding the next charge move if they do outpace us, and they do, so we are going to shield, play it safe. We want to just guarantee switch advantage at this point. Could have definitely overfarmed a lot more than we did here, but either way, Moonblast gets the KO. The opponent comes back in with the Primarina, and at this point we can still make it to another Moonblast, so gonna commit to the Moonblast here. Moonblast does big damage up against the Primarina. They do get the Charm Farm down, but that's okay. We can come back in with our Ariados. We are going to no shield. We're only 2000 CP, but we do tank that reasonably well. We're now going to come in with our Licky here, and this is a great matchup. Of course, these body slams, they have been nerfed. They really don't do much damage, but the rollouts are certainly going to add up over time, especially when the opponent throws on poor timing. So we get a full rollout in for free, and once again the opponent throws on poor timing there. Amazing for us as we get another full rollout in for free. We're now going to throw on very good timing, going for one extra rollout, then firing off the charge move, and we are going to do the exact same thing once again. So going for the body slam once again. Body slam is going to grab both shields, and now we can snipe with our Ariados. Go for the Trailblaze. Trailblaze actually still doesn't get the KO there, but we boost up our attack. We get the Poison Sting farm down up against the Primarina, and at this point we can just safely shield up an Icicle Spear, get the KO up against the Wall Rain, and we're able to take that game. So going into the next battle, we see Ariados into Florges, so another great lead matchup for us. The opponent safe swaps into Ampharos, and here we could have actually gone for one extra Poison Sting before throwing, as they did take one turn to swap out, and as well, not really any point going for Trailblaze if we were always intending on swapping out. Definitely should have just gone for the lunge there, because we could debuff their attack, whilst boosting our attack doesn't really help us if we just swap out immediately. But either way, gonna come in with our Clefable here. We are going to go up to the Moonblast, then baiting with the Swift, and we do grab a shield from the opponent, which is very nice. Gonna fire off another Swift though, basically just trying to get off our charge move as soon as possible. And here, at this point, we are going to no shield, let Clefable go down. We're happy to take a shield advantage, but not switch advantage here. And actually, the opponent still makes it to another charge move, so we're going to shield anyway. So definitely feeling the effects of not going for that lunge as the opponent came in with the Ampharos. But either way, this is going to be fine as they come in with a Lantern, which did get slightly, well, sort of nerfed this season, as Surf does cost more energy, but it also deals more damage. So we're going to go for the double Trailblaze. At this point, I'm still not certain if we could go for a full farm down, so instead going to leave it all to our Licky. The opponent is going to bank a little bit of energy there, coming in with the Florges, and we're going straight for the Earthquake here. Unlikely to shield the first charge move, so it does make makes sense to go for the Earthquake. I honestly don't know if it deals or if it's more energy efficient than Body Slam. Of course, Body Slam got nerfed this season, but Earthquake did also get nerfed a few seasons ago. But either way, we can now fire off these Body Slams at a very fast rate. The opponent is running Petal Blizzard here, so gonna shield the next move as they go for a Disarming Voice this time around. They swap back into Lantern. We're taking no risk, just gonna fire off the Body Slam straight away, getting the KO up against the Lantern. They come back in with the Flourishes. We once again throw on very good timing there, going for one rollout and then throwing the charge move. We make it to a final Body Slam, but it's a CMP tie here. But it's just a Disarming Voice, which we do tank. We can now fire off the Body Slam, and Body Slam gets the KO, and we're able to take that game. So going into the next battle, we're going to see Ariados in the lead up against Cresselia. So if they're running Future Sight, then this wouldn't be too good. But the opponent's going to Safe Swap into Ampharos, and we've already learnt from our mistakes here, firing off the lunge as we are intending to swap out. And we also throw on very good timing as well. So great improvements from the previous battle. Going to no shield as they go for a Thunder Punch here. So I wasn't really keeping track. Did the last opponent also have Thunder Punch on the Ampharos? I'm not really sure. I do think the recommended moveset is Brutal Swing and Trailblaze this season. But either way, Thunder Punch is going to be neutral damage here, so I guess it's fine. The opponent's actually going to swap back into Cresselia, switch clock already up, as this season it is only 50 seconds instead of 1 minute. We're going to come back in with Ariados, and I feel like this is a very risky no shield. So going to shield, it is just the Moonblast, but I think that was a safe play anyways. Going to fire off the lunge now. Lunge, going to do super effective damage. Doesn't do that much damage there, but it does drop their attack, and we're already able to make it to another lunge up against Cresselia, grabbing a shield this time around. And at this point, even if they are running Future Sight, I say just no shield. The opponent goes for Moonblast. That is resisted damage and double debuffed, and we also make a very nice catch there, catching the move onto our Clefable. Maybe could have committed to the farm down there, but not really sure if we would live a Volt Switch. So play it safe. We go for the Fairy Wind and then a Swift. And let's see, the opponent probably going to come back in with their Cresselia, and they are going to do so, but that's fine. We can make it to a Swift. Swift, not going to do much damage here, but it's some nice chip damage. It just guarantees that a lunge will get the KO, but actually, I'd say it's probably better to just come in with our Licky Licky at this point, and we do exactly that. So going to no shield, they go for the Moonblast. We do tank that very comfortably, but they come in with a Chestnut, and this is a pretty bad matchup for us. You're going to fire off the Body Slam. Body Slam not doing much damage. We swap, and we could have actually outpaced them to the charge move there, but instead throwing on the CMP tie, losing CMP as we are only 2000 CP. We are going to go for the lunge, grab a shield from the opponent, the final shield, and we can actually outpace them to the next charge move here, or at least throwing before the opponent throws. And lunge, once again, going to drop their attack here, so that's great for us. The opponent will end up throwing a charge move eventually. They go for Superpower, dropping their attack once again, but actually swapping out of that matchup into Cresselia to clear the debuff. But you can see the actual battle timer here is coming up, and they're actually not able to make it to a charge move. So we're able to win because we had more HP, and we're able to take that game. Which is quite fortunate there, because Superpower would have gotten us very low. So if they did get off the charge move there, we possibly would have lost. But either way, into the next battle, another amazing lead for Ariados here. By the way, I think these are just 3 full sets. They're not like the highlights of the team in battle. These are just 3 sets back to back to back. So we just happen to see a lot of good leads so far. Either way, going to come in with Clefable up against this Goodra, which is running Power Whip, which is interesting. We definitely could have overfarmed a lot more than we've done here. But either way, firing off the Moonblast, the opponent comes back in with the Venusaur, and we can fire off a Swift. The Swift not going to do that much damage here, but it actually grabs a shield from the opponent, so we'll definitely take that. We're also able to make it to another Swift up against this Venusaur. The opponent lets that go through, and then we swap. We make a catch onto our Ariados, maybe thinking Clefable will have some play in the back, but they've got a Skeledirge, so that's not the case. But either way, we can just go straight for the lunge. Lunge going to drop their attack here, and that's actually going to be very helpful, because now Licky Licky doesn't really have to fear any charge moves whatsoever. Disarming Voice, it's going to hit for neutral damage. It's not going to do much damage here. I mean, I guess they could be running Flamethrower, but that's very unlikely. And they do just fire off another Disarming Voice straight away, so gonna no shield once again. We can now fire off an Earthquake here. An Earthquake, if it does connect, it will get the one shot there, and this is certainly game over. We've still got 2 shields in play, so gonna start using them. They go for another Sludge Bomb there for some reason, don't really know why, but either way, this is GG's. We can fire off the Body Slam. I think the opponent has just quit the app at this point, and Body Slam gets the KO, and we're able to take that game. So going into the next battle, we're going to see Ariados into Guzzlord. So this, in terms of typing, is an advantage, but unfortunately, because we just don't have the stats really, I probably say that this is a losing matchup here, but that's fine. We do have Clefable in the back, so not the worst thing ever. Gonna fire off the lunge. We do shield the first move because I guess if we are intending to shield at least one move, it makes sense to shield the first one because now they're going to be dealing less damage after we have double debuff their attack. We're actually going to swap into Clefable. I'm not really sure if that was necessary here because of course Clefable has such a dominant matchup up against the Guzzlord. Maybe we should have just either let Ariados go down or possibly made it to another charge move if the opponent did throw, because of course they were double debuff, but now they've cleared the debuff. They could also be running Sludge Bomb as well, so maybe in the end game they can go for a Sludge Bomb up against our Clefable, and that would not be ideal. But either way, gonna fire off the Moonblast here, able to make it to a Swift as well, and we also debuff their attack with the Moonblast, but unfortunately it just barely doesn't KO. They survive with literally 1 HP and a Dream, but we can go for the farm down. They're gonna come in with a Shadow for Alligator. Honestly, at this point I probably would fire off the charge move and then swap out of this matchup. Don't really want to give them too much farm, but they get a huge farm down there, so we are going to probably come in with our Licky Licky here. We are going to no-shield the first move as they go for Hydro Cannon. Hydro Cannon's obviously going to do quite a lot of damage here. I probably would shield one of them because it's going to do more damage than either a Brutal Swing or even a Sludge Bomb if they are running it on the Guzzlord. We're now firing off the Earthquake. Earthquake does some decent damage there, and now we're going to swap, make a very nice catch, catching the charge move onto Ariados as they go for the Hydro Cannon here. They're going to come back in with the Guzzlord, but they do have quite a lot of energy here, so the opponent fires off the Brutal Swing. They should be able to make it to another Brutal Swing. They do get there in time, which is unfortunate. Brutal Swing will be coming through. We're going to farm up 2 back-to-back body slams here, but is this enough damage to get the KO? No! Again, they survive with literally 1 HP and a Dream, and unfortunately, we do end up losing that game. But of course, that was the correct play there, farming up 2 back-to-back body slams, because if it did KO, we could just fire off the next one into Feraligatr and taking that game. But anyways, into next battle, we're going to see a Swampert in the lead. So we're going straight for Trailblaze. Trailblaze hits for double super effective damage, but it actually doesn't get the KO there because Ariados is just so low in CP. Its attack just isn't very high there. So despite being double super effective, not able to one-shot a Swampert, which is probably the first time you've ever seen a grass move not take out a Swampert in all honesty. But either way, the opponent's going to come in with a Charizard, and it looks like they're committing to a full farm down here. So going to fire off another Swift. We will be able to make it to yet another Swift if they go for that farm down, which they do. And at this point, we should be grabbing a shield from the Charizard. So not too bad there. They do come out with so much loaded energy. Luckily for us though, Licky Licky is pretty tanky, so I guess we can shield one of these charge moves. They go for the Blast Burn. They are at back-to-back Blast Burns most likely, so at this point we will be taking one, but that doesn't even do 50% of our HP, which is very nice. The opponent's going to come back in with the Swampert. We're firing off that Body Slam straight away, just wanting to get rid of this thing. The opponent's actually going to shield that, so we can come in with our Ariados, but the opponent swaps, makes a catch, but they catch it onto wall range, so that's okay with us. Trailblaze still hitting for super effective damage, going to boost up our attack here. This next Trailblaze going to do even more damage, and we should be able to live an Icicle Spear from this range here. So Icicle Spear actually just barely doesn't take us out there. They come back in with the Swampert, and we should be fine. We've already seen us tank a Blast Burn, so Hydro Cannon should be no problem for us. We should be able to go for a full resisted rollout farm down, taking out the Swampert, and we're able to take that game. So there you can see we go 4-1 in this first set. We're also going to catch a Hisuian Sneasel, and we've left this in for some reason, so don't really know why that is, but we are going to see that we actually catch a Hundo. Okay, that is why we are flexing. We've already got the Shlundo Ariados, and we're flexing a Hundo caught from the GBL encounter. Very nice, and again, another great lead matchup for us. The opponent safe swaps into Feraligatr. We're firing off the Trailblaze. Trailblaze does big damage, and this time I don't mind firing off the Trailblaze and then swapping out because it puts them into range where actually we can probably just go for a full rollout farm down. I mean, we can go for the Body Slam here, and Body Slam will get the KO, but remember, Body Slam, not the best charge move, so the fact that we did go for the Trailblaze first just makes this a lot more comfortable for us. The opponent going to fire off another Hydro Cannon, and we are not going to commit to the full farm down, but we do farm up 2 back-to-back Body Slams before throwing. We get the KO there. They come in with the Tapu Fini, and we're only going to make it to 1 charge move, I do believe, so we just commit to the Earthquake here, and, well, actually, maybe we could have fired off back-to-back Body Slams there, but the opponent is just going to concede the match at this point. I don't know what they had in the back, but Ariados well, it forces the opponent to concede there. Into next battle, another great lead. We just can't stop getting amazing leads. And again, swapping into for Alligator. Going to go straight for the Trailblaze. Trailblaze is going to be no-shielded, and again, going to play it out exactly the same here. Gonna no-shield this as we can tank 2 Hydro Cannons very comfortably on our Licky, and of course the Shadow Claw damage is going to be resisted, although actually going to shield the next charge move here. I'm not so sure about that. I don't think that was necessary here, but either way, gonna fire off the Body Slam. Body Slam gets the KO. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't have shielded that, but either way, doesn't really matter too much. Again, going for the Earthquake. Earthquake must just be more energy efficient at this point, because otherwise I probably would just spam these Body Slams. But either way, gonna no-shield this as the opponent goes for the Moonblast. Moonblast will pass into farm down range, which definitely is not ideal here. But gonna fire off another Body Slam, grabbing a shield this time, and we do make it to yet another Body Slam. So Body Slam will get Clefable fairly low here, to the point actually where maybe we can just Poison Sting farm them down, but they come in with a Giratina, we've got a Clefable, and the opponent is just gonna instantly concede the match, and we're able to take that game. So into next battle, we can see Drapion in the lead. So finally a fairly neutral matchup here. Still not too bad for us. We can go straight for a lunge as the opponent not going to throw straight away here. Lunge is going to drop their attack. It doesn't do much damage, to be honest, but that's okay. They're also not going to deal that much damage up against our Ariados now that we have debuffed them. Gonna fire off another lunge, unfortunately losing CMP though. But we can live the crunch there, so just going to let it go through. Firing off another lunge here, and we could swap out. We are going to swap into our Licky here. Essentially just forcing the opponent to either swap out there. We didn't really want to give them any extra farm up against our Ariados, because even though it was double debuffed, Drapion can be pretty annoying to deal with. So they come in, they go for the Frenzy Plant there, dealing a lot of damage to our Licky, but that's okay, we can tank it pretty comfortably, going for a Body Slam here, and I wouldn't throw straight away. We don't throw straight away, and as a result, the opponent throws on alignment. We get a full rollout in for free, and now we can very comfortably outpace them to the next couple of Body Slams. Body Slam is going to get the KO there. They come back in with the Drapion, and we are just going to go and fire off that Body Slam straight away. Body Slam is going to be no-shielded. They will make it to another charge move. You can see we were trying to make a catch there, but that's okay. Crunch will get the KO. We can come in with our Clefable, and they've got Staraptor in the back. So yeah, we're farming up to the Moonblast. Gonna bait with a Swift, pretty likely to grab a shield. No, actually, never mind. The opponent does not shield. We then swap. We try to make a catch there, making all the wrong plays right now, but I think we should be fine unless they're running Brave Bird. If they're running Fly, then we should be able to live any one charge move that they throw. So we can shield this up here as the opponent goes for the Brave Bird. They actually do go for the Brave Bird, but we're able to make it to the Swift in time, and now they triple debuff their defense. Body Slam, Swift gets the KO. We get the Fairy Wind farm down, and we're able to take that game. So we are going to, there's no way this is another hundo from a GBL encounter. Let's find out, I guess. Mean Food Court, and no, it's definitely not a hundo there. But we are going to claim that set rewards there. I don't think we saw all of the battles in that set, but either way, into next battle, we're going to see Ariados into Virizion, and again, the opponent's going to say swap. This time, we're actually firing off the lunge here. So lunge coming through, gets no-shielded by the opponent there, so maybe could have just gone for the Trailblaze again, but I guess this is also okay, because I feel like by the time we do reach back-to-back Body Slams, we will basically put them into farm down range. Anyways, yeah, this actually might be slightly better for us, just because we can land the Body Slam, tank 2 more Hydro Cannons if we absolutely need to, or the opponent will just swap out of that matchup back into Virizion, so we can fire off a Body Slam here. Body Slam is going to be no-shielded. It doesn't do much damage. They could be running Stone Edge, but we're going to no-shield anyways, and the opponent actually goes for a Sacred Sword there, so clearly not running it, and either way, Sacred Sword and Leaf Blade are both going to be double resisted, so very nice for us. We completely wall this thing. It's very likely that they will be swapping out eventually, so I don't mind not throwing straight away there, but we're able to go for a full Poison Sting farm down. Absolutely huge for us. Go for another lunge into Virizion coming back in. Lunge is going to grab a shield here. At this point, I feel like they are pretty weak to Ariados, but we are going to no-shield that. We're still able to make it to yet another lunge here. Lunge might not get the KO. Actually, it does get the KO, and never mind, they weren't weak to it whatsoever. But we're going to come in with our Licky, firing off an Earthquake straight away. Hopefully, this does connect, and it does connect. You can see it really doesn't do much damage. Registill, super bulky in the Ultra League, but going to shield this as they go for the Focus Blast. And at this point, we could possibly get away with baiting, but I feel like definitely the safe play is just go straight for the Earthquake, and the opponent does no shield once again, calling the bait maybe. and we've got this game in the bag. You can see the opponent has actually just conceded the match there, and we're able to take that game. So going into the next battle, Ariados into a Shadow Dragonite. So actually a very bad matchup for us. Gonna say swap into our Licky here, and we will outpace them to the first charge. We've also rollouts, dealing super effective damage, grabbing a shield with the body slam, and then they swap into Feraligatr. So opponent very badly core broken by Licky so far, as they're going to go for the Hydro Cannon, but the Dragon Breath damage, staying in with that Dragonite was actually quite a smart play, because now they basically put us into range where they can land another Hydro Cannon and then potentially just go for a Shadow Claw farm down. So we are actually going to use a shield here as they go for the Hydro Cannon. Unfortunately, because this is a non-Shadow Feraligatr, this Body Slam will not be enough damage to get the KO there. So unfortunately, they will be able to make it to another charge move. We're actually going to shield here. We're going to double shield our Licky and fire off the charge move here. I'm not sure if we could have gone for the farm down. I've not been keeping track of the energy, but either way, we take out Feraligatr there. And let's see, the opponent's going to come in with a Drapion, so just firing off the Body Slam straight away. Could commit to an Earthquake, but they would be able to outpace us, I believe, to a Crunch before we get there. So instead, just guaranteeing some damage. Honestly, Body Slam not doing much damage. They're actually running Sludge Bomb there, so not sure if that means they're not running Crunch, or maybe they're not running Aquatel. We're about to find out. Okay, so they're not running Aquatel there. They drop our defense, which isn't ideal, but we're also going to drop their attack, and having Sludge Bomb on their Drapion is very problematic, except for the fact that the opponent swaps back into their Shadow Dragonite, and this is actually amazing for us with the boost to the Fairy Wind damage here. Honestly, we can probably commit to a full Fairy Wind farm down at this point. Everything is going to be double resisted, especially when the opponent helps us out there by actually throwing a superpower. I personally would not have thrown here, instead committed to the full farm down, and then I could have gone for a Moonblast and a Swift up against the Drapion, but either way, Moonblast will put them into range where a lunge will get the KO, but the opponent does outpace us, winning CMP. Crunch gets the KO there. Can we outpace them to the Swift? We are just barely able to do so, and Swift from this range, of course, gonna take out the Drapion, and we're able to take that game. So going into the next battle, we're going to see Ariados in the lead up against a Machamp. So another great lead matchup for us, although of course the opponent could be running and probably is running Stone Edge, although maybe in the Ultra League Payback might be preferred because of like the Cresselias and the Giratinas that are reasonably common even in this season. But anyways, the opponent's going to safe swap into a Shadow Feraligatr. This time we actually wait, no, we did throw a charge move there before we swapped out because we grabbed a shield advantage. I don't know what I'm talking about here. We're now going to fire off the Earthquake here. Earthquake will be coming through. Earthquake does some big damage there, and it will put them into farm down range, but we get baited into throwing on CMP. I don't really like that play there. Should have just gone for the extra rollout there, but either way, going to fire off the Body Slam. Body Slam will be getting the KO. But they can come back in with Machamp and get a huge Karate Chop farm down, which definitely is not ideal for us. So, gonna fire off the Body Slam here. They do get that farm down, but we're gonna come in with Clefable, so if they're running Payback, they're completely walled here. Let's find out. Nope, they're running Stone Edge, which is a legacy move there, but that's fine. We can align our Ariados up against this Clefable, so gonna no-shot the first move. They go for Swift. Honestly, Swift doing some decent damage there. We're actually gonna go for Lunge. Yeah, I don't mind this play just because the next Swift will put us into farm down range, unless we debuff them, and now, okay, we're actually going to double shield here as they go for another Swift. We're now going for Trailblaze, but they're able to outpace us to yet another Swift. Swift will not get the KO, however, so we can fire off the Trailblaze, although Trailblaze at this point, really not going to do that much damage, but we grab the shield, and we can swap straight away into our Clefable. Gonna fire off the Moonblast here, throwing it straight away. Moonblast gets the KO, but I think Clefable will be able to outpace us to the Moonblast, but we win CMP here, which is very fortunate for us. Moonblast gets the KO, and we're able to take that game. So that is going to be it for the final set. So I guess we just didn't include any of our losses, but we're going to have a Wobbuffet in the encounter here. Can we get another hundo? I mean, not really particularly useful as a non-purified Wobbuffet, but let's see. Nope, not a hundo. But anyways, let's end it there. So that's going to be it for today's video. If you did enjoy it, please make sure you leave a like, leave a comment letting me know, and as well, don't forget to respond to the question of the day if you haven't done so already. And if you want to see more content like this in the future, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications. That way you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. And if you want to take your support even further, you can now become a channel member with perks including early access to new videos, shoutouts at the end of each video, custom loyalty badges, and custom emojis to use in the comments. I want to say a massive thank you to everyone that has already already become a channel member. Your support is greatly appreciated, and with that being said, thank you all so much for watching today's video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.